Everyone, welcome back to another video of Tetravoid Robotics. Today, we are going to be showing to you some basics of how to use EV3 Classroom. First, we are going to go over the 10 sections on the left, and these are basics where these are basically basic blocks we use to use EV3 Classroom. So first, we have pointed to the port section, 4 ports on each side of the brick. 4 of them are sensors, 4 of them are motors, and in this case it's motors. Second option is where it's rotations, degrees or seconds. Also, there is clockwise and counterclockwise. So as you can see, we can run with motor A clockwise, 3 rotations, degrees or seconds. And to run this program, you would have to click the white arrow on the bottom going down, and you would have to connect to robot. You can either connect with Bluetooth or using a cable. Once you have it connected, you can just click the blue play button. That'll just download and run, but if you want to download it and then run on the robot itself, then you can do that. Here we are not going to show you because we are going over the basics for right now. So after that, we'll go over the movement section, which we're just going to use an example block, maybe even 2 examples block. So first block, it says straight 0. Now this means that you're moving straight 0 degrees. So you can adjust it to however many degrees, and if it's really hard to adjust, you can actually type in the box in the oval box. So basically it appears on the ones that only say straight 0, and you can just set it to either right 7 or negative. Negative is left and positive is right. Then we have the rotations, speed, and seconds. Well, rotations, degrees, and seconds. For the rotation, just like we said in the motors section. Now display, we actually don't really use display. Usually we don't use any of these blocks, but if you're doing, let's say, a project on EV3 Classroom, I would not know how to use these blocks, except that you can maybe write EV3 at 1.1 with the bolded letters. So next we're going over sound, and as I said, we also don't really use the sound section because in the tournament, or if maybe you could use sound if you're doing a project at school, but during tournament round in First Lego League we don't really use sound. So then we go to events, and this is actually really important. As you can see, the when program start block is actually from the event section, and we would want one when program start because it's the best way and it won't start many other programs at once. So the when block is where you can have that hexagon and at the same time running with the when program starts. Let's say first of all, in the event section, we are introducing something that has been introduced already, which is the ultrasonic sensor, and this is actually quite popular because we did a video on it where we have the Rubik's Cube solving machine where there is an actual ultrasonic sensor, and it'll calculate the distance between the cube and the ultrasonic sensor. So as you can see, when the distance is greater than 15 centimeters, then it will start programming or running whatever is under the program. So the 4 is the port actually. So because this is a sensor, it has number ports, but because motors have letter ports, we have to use numbers on sensors to organize sensors, and motors. So next we have control section, and this is actually pretty important because we use it in our my blocks. As you can see here, these are the my blocks we use usually. And after that, you can do a repeat, and this is actually also really good. As you can see, you can just repeat 10 times straight if you use the movement blocks. And we can also use a forever block, which you can keep on going forever. And let's say you want to keep on running the row machine forever and ever until you stop the program. There's also a block called stop other stacks or stop and exit program. Now we don't really use stop other stacks, but we do use stop and exit program. It permanently exits the program, and yeah, basically in the sensor section we have all these sensors. So it's all sensors, all ports with numbers, and we usually use this sensor or block for the sensors because it has a gyro sensor on it, and it's actually locating that you reset your angle. So let's say your angle is at 30 degrees, you want to reset it, you gotta wait 1 second. As you can see here, we put a wait 1 second block and it'll reset to 0 degrees. This will help you a lot in your tournament. And as you can see here, we also have ultrasonic sensors, we have the brick, touch sensors, and regular color sensors. So after that, we are going over the operations or the operators section, and this is really often used in my blocks, not often used in just regular blocks, or you don't often use them in programs. So as you can see, they cannot attach under blocks, they have to attach in blocks because they're operations, so we have to usually use them in my blocks. So yeah, as you can see, these are the my blocks I actually explained in one of my videos about the gyro turn my block, and I use these operations. The rev turn is basically the same as the gyro turn, except that it's reverse. And see, that is an operation. So next off, we are going to go over the variables, and this is actually not commonly used. It is commonly used a bit on my blocks, but not really commonly used on any program. This is because you would have to actually just modify it yourself. You can rename the variables. Let's say you want to rename it the same thing, then it'll just tell you that it has already existed. So if you want to just change it into something else, let's say all lowercase, and then you can rename this variable. And I didn't put this specifically in the rename section because, well, we'll get onto that later because variables aren't really used. So next we have my blocks. I have actually gone over my blocks a lot,